Yes, what's happening, racing world? It's time for another edition coming into your living rooms, wherever you may be on this fine Saturday morning. The Morning Post joins you again from the HQ of the Racing Post, of course, and sponsored by William Hill. Yes, for the next hour or so, I'm going to be joined by some of the greatest minds in racing. No, really, I am. And we're going to be talking about all the good content coming your way on this fabulous Saturday as we really start to hurtle towards the end of the flat season. Really enjoyed last week. As mentioned at the Cheltenham Festival, clip blew up, didn't it? Did you prefer Royal Ascot? Did you prefer Cheltenham? Whichever it was, thanks for the engagement, guys. Whether it's the opinions we agree with or not, strong opinions is what we want, and that's what we're going to get on this show for the next hour. And in fact, why don't we hear yours? You can do that by liking and subscribing when you're watching the YouTube channel. All you've got to do, good morning, community out there. Let's be having you and get some tips in for today. We're going to go around the courses for you today. David Jennings, Deputy Editor, joins us around about halfway through the show to give us the lowdown, everything Irish, and of course, give us his naps at the end of the show as well. And DJ's on a real money spinner there as well. We'll open up the trading floor for you. But without further ado, this is what we do on this show. We gift wrap it, we pop it in the post, and we deliver. And we have got the postman, the two deliverers. I don't know where else I'm going to go with this, but you are the postman, the original Charlie Post, and the anti-postman, the wildebeest himself. You look a bit like Bear Grylls this morning, ready to go, like you're.
I'll do. Thanks. Yeah, it's probably because I've not washed my hair.
There you go. There you go. You couldn't really tell, could you?
Well, I mean, I did comment. I've not seen him for a while, and he's got a few grey hairs coming through in the beard.
That wasn't a welcome comment. Ideally, I mean, it's got a bit long. Like they really start to come out when it gets to sort of 3 or 4 lengths without a trim.
And you would tell you getting a little bit more mature, Rob.
The pressure's weighing heavy on the anti-postman.
Well, he is because he had a startling spring, didn't we? Shall we just get that out of the way before we go up to William Hill?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, beating the market. A fair few occasions.
What have you beaten the market with for today?
Today I put Clove Hitch in the Superior Mile, which is about 6 to 1.
From
25 to
Look,
1.
That's nice. The game,
right?
Right?
It's just you've got to keep knocking on the door. I know she'll go and finish 4th today. That's just the way it's going at the moment. But
well, this is where it changes for you, man.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Posty, you've been up at the sales this week.
Yeah,
getting back in the game.
Yeah, back in the game with that.
Not a blue point for us to get some profit off.
Not a blue point yet. We haven't struck with one of those just yet. But yeah, we got a Havana Grey. They're pretty in vogue right now. So happy with that. And yeah, it's an exciting time of year. Yeah,
there's been a lot going on this week. We'll get to Posty about that shortly. But talking of going grey, shall we go up to the William Hill floor as we open it up for you? There he is. It's Jamie McBride. Each week we get a top William Hill trader on. It's usually Johnny the Judge Simpson or Jamie McBride, who comes on for a second week in a row, like the cat that got the cream, after a winning nap in the Beverley Bullet last week. Well done, Jay.
A long last furlong, and it was for Democracy Dilemma's backers, but he got the job done in the end. Sadly, the joy was short-lived, though, as the boost 15 minutes later, Tamfana won with the minimum of fuss. So the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
Absolutely it does. And I'm sure it will on this show as well. Which leads seamless link. You're really getting this now, Game McBride. You've led us to the boost, of course. I've been sort of seeing the emails going to and fro in the past 24 hours. And we've come down rightfully in the big race because, of course, guys, today at Haydock, it is the Sprint Cup. And you're taking on the Fav.
Yep, like you said, big race of the day, and we are taking on the Fav in Sharon. We'll get into the race later, but I'm quite happy to take on the 3-year-olds. So we are going 5 to 1 from 4 to 1 in Sharon.
There you are, guys. That's now live. You can get that on the William Hill app, of course, and you can, of course, go to the website. They are live on the show. And these boosts, they do go in as Tamfana showed. She was quite impressive, Rob, last week, wasn't she?
Yeah, I thought so, yeah. I mean, you're always trying to take ones on that are taking like a big drop in trip against out-and-out milers, but yeah, sort out really well.
Yeah, and again, because a horse has a certain amount of runs without a win next to its name, Posty, punters would just push it out, weren't they? You know, bookmakers would push it out. There was a gift, the Lord giveth there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, we can be very quick to sort of be down on horses, can't we? Like you say, when they're on a bit of a losing streak, and yeah, that definitely wasn't one to be deserting.
Class droppers, which is ultimately what you're doing this morning, isn't it? You've come from the sales, and here you are.
Yeah, I mean,
you're down in class 6
He's keeping good company.
I travelled in with you, and I'd as a friend, I'd have never described you as but you're probably right.
I'm a Grade 1 winner in the making, mate. Don't worry about me. I'm a long project in the making, that's for sure. Now, before we go to Ascot, Haydock, and a bit of Kempton for the September stakes as well, Serena, all that sort of stuff. We're going to talk about this week. There's been loads of news, of course. It's a conversational show, guys. This is what we like. Let's open it up, fly on the wall stuff. Finally, the Callum Shepherd resolution came to an end. And, of course, if you're not sure about this, a couple of weeks ago, it was James Doyle, Monday night at Windsor. It appeared to ease up on the line on a very well-backed Roger Varian horse, National Allegiance, was it called? Something like that. Anyway, I'm not sure what it was. But punters screaming blue murder and stewards did nothing. James comes out and said, well, there were reasons for it. And then 2 days later at Kempton, Callum Shepherd on a horse for David Simcock, I believe it was, went to the finish, looked like he had it done, appeared to sit up in the finish, got dead heated on the line. Stewards deemed that enough for 18 days. Blue murder again for lots of different reasons, and Callum appealed it, and the 18-day ban is no more. And what do we make of this, Posty? Lots said about it. From my own personal view, before we get your ex-jockey hat on, it was a bit unsatisfactory. You know, Callum put it down to a lack of balance and mitigated circumstances. And actually, when you listen to the stewards, you think, I'm sure they did look at this a lot of the time. It's not like they're just deciding willy-nilly what to do, but he does appear to sit up on the line. Other jurisdictions, you're out for months, aren't you? 18-day ban for human error does seem quite a lot, but James Doyle got away with it. And do you think the stewards felt they had left one behind?
I think so, definitely. I mean, I think the length of the ban is kind of irrelevant, isn't it? It's whether you were or weren't guilty of what you did. You know, but I also think and I've got no axe to grind with either James Doyle or Callum Shepherd. I think they're both very, very good riders, but I think they both made a mistake. You know, as in at Windsor, James said his horse ducked left to go round the bend, and that caused him to sit up. And I couldn't really see it myself that much on the video. I don't know what you thought.
Well, at Windsor,
yeah.
Well, if having been a local track to me, and watched a lot of races live there, that bend does come up very quickly. But you don't see what happened to James happen often at all.
No, but did you think that the horse went to dive left?
I thought he cocked his head a little bit, and I thought he definitely wasn't helping James. But I thought before that, James had sort of thought he'd got the race in the bag.
Which we see all the time, don't we? And like going to Callum at Kempton, I think they're both that good of riders. The losing the balance thing, I'm not sure. You know, as in, and Kempton it's a classic one for those closers very late, isn't it? And to me, he's gone to the front. He thinks he's got the race there. He's trying to be a bit cheeky. He sits up a fraction of a stride too early and gets nutted by a closer. You know, I mean, initially, obviously, they were saying about whether the print was right with the photo finish, and then it was I lost my balance a little bit, as in. And then again, then I chuck it out. Well, if they were apprentices doing that, would it have been the same? Would we be accepting of the losing of the balance thing? I don't know, because you kind of open it up now, don't you?
Yes.
So these things happen in the future.
Yeah.
And so there becomes a lot more of a mitigating circumstance thing. That if as a rider you come in and say, oh well, yeah, you know, I did, but you know, this happened or that happened, or I thought my foot was going to slip out the eye. I don't know where it leads.
There's a blueprint now, isn't there, for jockeys that go into appeals saying, well, hang on a minute, Governor, you know, this has happened before and nothing happened to them. I've spoken to a lot of punters that sort of pull me up, you know, got some mates that contact me as well, going, are they going easy on the top riders? Rob, from a punting perspective, I know from a sort of technical point of view, you don't have a lot to say on this, but if you'd have backed those horses...
A bit slightly annoyed, yeah, but there are all sorts of annoying things that go on that you just have to learn to swallow.
So just swallow it up.
He's very zen, isn't he?
He is very zen.
Just like,
Yeah, I don't really like to punish people unless it's absolutely necessary. I mean, people probably disagree, but I don't know. I think these blokes are pretty honest fellas. But maybe if they do it again, then let's clamp down.
I don't think we're saying that we're in favour of them being out of action for a long time, but it's just about, was there a mistake made or wasn't there? You know?
Yeah. Anyway, look,
okay.
That is the saga. Sure. It's come to a conclusion. Were the stewards right? Were the stewards wrong? Did you back into these horses? Have your say. We'll try and get them up before the end of the show. Good to get a word from Posty on that. I would ask Jay what he thinks about it. But again, he's probably like you guys. So perhaps now let's move on with the show, shall we? And get into the real nuts and bolts of it. As this is what you can get in your Racing Post if you go to the newsagents or pick it up at a garage or indeed go to the racecourse, grab it online. You get this. Can the sprint winner?
It's a good head, good front page. Actually.
You like this?
Yeah, I think outside the box.
Spotted, you see?
Yeah.
You see what they've done there?
It's clever,
That's very good. And they're the big three, of course. And this is the Old Borough Cup, one of the great handicaps up at Haydock on the flat every season. Can Epic Poet finally land a big one, or will it be another near miss? I've got a line on that, and I'm sure the panellists will as well. Brilliant. Off to Kempton we go. It's the Serenia, the first race, but the September Stakes. Great piece in the week from the front runner himself, Chris Cook, who basically said, this is a graveyard for very good horses. Derby winners have gone there and been done. Hamish going for another win again. Now, this is a bit of a long-winded headline, isn't it? Who wrote this?
Myself wrote that.
Certain Robbie Wilders. Paucity of Group 1 form among older contenders leaves the way clear for a new star to emerge. If you can't wait to hear what Robbie is going to put up, go and have a read of that. Great analysis. And then, of course, if you just want to keep it simple, really good initiative this, baby of Keith Melrose and the team. Just keep it simple. Go with all the algorithms, of course. And they say that Swing Along is going to be your winner after that July Cup near miss. As does the Sizzler himself. Kills is relaxing somewhere at the moment and counting down the hours till Swing Along and Anaf, the two for Sprint Glory at 3:35. Haydock this afternoon. And your final one, Mr. Pricewise himself, Tom Siegel, always on this show, Tom giving us his pearls of wisdom. When he's not, we give you his tips. Bucanero Fuerte, the returning superstar at 2, worth chancing. Had a big price in Sprint. Poser. Yeah, he's a very, very interesting horse, isn't he? OK, let's draw some breath then, before we go to our Saturday previews. Now, I was hoping not to really go into this much, but our producers are saying that we ought to have a word on the Shark Hanlon affair as well. You'll notice that this week, Shark Hanlon, King George winning trainer, has had his licence suspended for 10 months, I think, Posty, isn't it? Basically because of a story that came out in the week, it was actually in June, I believe, about a deceased horse being transported out of the yard that was noticed by a member of the public following him behind, who took the video, social media, sent it into the IHRB, and it's against their code of conduct. It was basically, Shark has put it down to the tarpaulin coming off, but you could see basically a dead carcass of a horse being transported out. What do we make of this? Well, of course, we've had Luke Comer as well having his licence suspended for, of course, carcasses of horses being found on his land, you know, and things like this. It's not great for the game, is it?
It's a mess, isn't it? Like, I mean, I think, though, you've got to be careful of, like, hyperbole and sensationalising it. I mean, like, in theory, the horse died for whatever reason, that Shark has not been in any way linked to sort of there being negligence about why the horse passed away. What it is it's just a bit naive, isn't it, in your lorry with all your sponsorship on, with a trailer connected to the back. And look, we're taking his word that the horse was covered, tarpaulin's flown off, but there he is driving through a town or village or something with, like you say, a dead carcass of an animal on the back, and it's not very respectful, is it? Is the truth of it?
In this day and age, you're not going to get away with that, are you? Someone's just got to pick up one of these iPhones and go, oh, here we go, what's this?
And like I say, so I think there's part of me is on the side that, like, hey, it's just the horse passed away, you know, and he was taking the horse wherever, you know, but that's the way it goes. But then on the second hand, like you say, we've all got a responsibility to be doing the right thing.
10 months. Let's talk about the ban, the length of the ban.
I mean,
King George winning trainer.
5 months suspended, isn't it? So
yeah.
it's in theory a 5-month ban.
But it's still it's gonna you know it's gonna hit him hard, isn't it? You know, and again we're talking about, like, this is front page stuff, isn't it?
It is, but I think we've all got to sit up and take responsibility for welfare. Like, whether you feel it's too far or too harsh, this is where we are at, and like I say, you've got to be seen to having respect for the animals. Now, I don't think Shark Hanlon in any way has done anything wrong to the horse while he's training it, but what's happened afterwards, it's just not a good look, is it? Yeah,
and Shark was saying when it left, everything was as it should be, and then when it sort of in transport and then got to where it should be, everything had gone wrong or whatever. So.
Yeah, and you know, maybe he has just been very, very unfortunate that happened, but I suppose, you know, the Irish authorities have got to be seen to be making a stance. Now, is it a bit tough on him if it's literally come down to a piece of tarpaulin coming off the back of the trailer? Then yes, it probably is on the sort of slightly harsh side, but like I said, we've all got to be standing up and making sure that we are watertight, you know,
Yeah.
on welfare, and it
Yeah.
is paramount right now.
I'd imagine a band like that might do just that. All right, that's us having our say on the news that is this week. Don't worry, the previews are coming. The insider look. Robbie, you going to be doing this?
Not that I'm aware of, mate.
Well, just asking Robbie whether you were going to be doing any of that insider.
Yeah, as I say, it'd be
Come on, get on the WhatsApp to the punters.
It'd be news to me, but I often get last-minute requests that I have to roll the punches, so yeah, bring it on.
Yeah,
He's on his William Hill trading account here at the moment.
Is he?
hot
You've
right
seen
now.
the phone, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. All right, great stuff. Talking about trading, let's get it underway, shall we? And it is, of course, the Prestige Mile, isn't it? Of course, Superior Mile up at Haydock, opening the card up there. Some right old characters here. The ground at Haydock at the moment. So it's funny week, isn't it, guys? We've had a pretty good end to the summer, most of the country. I think August was fair for a lot of us, wasn't it, wherever you are? I'm in what they call Costa del Bucks, and I thought to myself, well, here's the rain. The rest of the country, typically southerner, must be getting absolutely drenched. But Haydock had its own little, heat wave yesterday, apparently. So I think we're saying, Jay, it's going to be good to soft ground. And again, a lot of these horses in this race in particular will be sort of surface dependent. What is the market like?
Yeah, like I said, the weather hasn't been that bad at all. It's been lovely up here the last couple of days, and there is a couple in here that will go either way in the market because of the ground. You'd say, like Cicero's Gift would be one that wanted rain, whereas Regal Reality would be the other way. He'd want it to dry up. We are this is our top price guarantee race, the first race on TV, so we won't be beaten for price on any selection. Holloway's Boy is the worst result, and I can see why. He does look the really solid one. Given a free hand, he's one I don't think I'd want to be top price about. There has been bits and pieces of money for Witch Hunter and also Cicero's Gift as well.
Now that's a good headline. Start as you mean to go on. I like that. Whoever came up with that, William Hill Towers, take a bow. And so you're going to get best odds here. You've already got a massive price about Clove Hitch. You've teased that this was the anti-postman. Give us the case.
Clove Hitch, interesting horse. Coming off the back of a bit of a break. Wasn't quite as good as she'd been in previous starts at Sandown last time, but basically she normally front runs and she was held up from her wide draw at Sandown. Everything struggled to get into it from off the pace that day. It was a slowly run race. The winner just controlled it from the front, John Gosnell Spiritual. Go back to her previous form. I mean, she was obviously running that Economics Maiden at Newbury. That was a nice run back. And then she won impressively, absolutely bolted up in only a novice, admittedly, at Newbury, earning really good time. I just thought, this is quite an interesting prospect. She's obviously unexposed, getting a bit of weight from the older horses. Getting her back on a slightly flatter track should suit.
Top team?
A top team, obviously, yeah. And I don't know, I just doubt we've seen the best of her. And with a lot of these, we sort of know where we stand. I think Cicero's Gift probably is the best horse in the race. He wasn't able to show it at Goodwood last time because the ground was too quick.
Well, let's pick up on this because it was a bizarre sort of placement, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was almost like you were trusting the fact that, okay, maybe this horse isn't ground dependent because I'm pretty sure when Charlie Hills had him at his absolute best, and when he came back at Sandown, do you remember? They were like, Halsey won that. We thought he was going to need it. Well, it was on Eclipse Day, of course. It was very easy ground, shall we say, whether what you believe it was really underneath. It suited a horse that needed to get his toe in. And they said he must have soft ground. He goes to Glorious Goodwood. It was anything but. Why would they run him there?
It's a good question. I mean, I was very much with him at Sandown on his comeback, and like he
won.
Yeah, he looked really good, didn't he?
Yeah, you're blowing your trumpet again here, aren't you?
Well, I'm just saying, but then the Goodwood run was not great at all. But like you say, the ground was good to firm. And
you jumped off.
Pardon?
You jumped off him then, did you? You didn't back him then?
Oh, not with him then, no.
No.
The
judge that is the Poste. Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, with him today?
Don't make this about me.
It's always about you.
So no, I'm not. I think it's a real trappy race.
Massively so.
7 runners, but you can kind of make cases and then pick holes in all of them. So Regal Reality for me. I mean,
Really?
He ran well in this last year behind Chindick, carrying a penalty. Look, he finds winning difficult. He doesn't always get away on terms. He did last time, and he ran well over 10 furlongs behind Ammat. I think the drop back and trip, there's loads of pace on here. Like Sparks Flying, horses like that, they go quick. Ryan Moore's on board. But it's a tentative selection. I'm not big about this race at all. I think it's really, really tough.
Could be some pace in the race. I mean, you mentioned Clove Hitch. Prague
can go forwards.
Possibly.
Sparks Fly is a free goer.
Definitely. Well, yeah. I mean, they're waiting for her to really they've been patiently campaigning her. They would have liked to have the usual Haydock ground at this time.
If this was like soft, heavy ground, she'd have an absolutely massive chance.
She's not far off being top level.
She actually ran really well at the Curragh last time, because she might have finished last, but a jockey for some reason took her completely to the other side of the track. Probably gave away 10 lengths.
They did it in France when they successfully pulled it off. Was it Saint-Cloud, I seem to remember?
The ground was obviously too quick for her.
No one ever wins on that far L. She did.
She's been a bit of she's cursed me this season really by not turning up, because I think she's really interesting. She has done 2 of her 3 best RPRs at Haydock as well. So I expect
as the winter approaches.
Yeah, she's definitely one to have in your tracker. Yeah. I think she'll probably come out, to be honest, if the ground is what they're saying.
All right, great stuff. I've got a lovely question coming up for the panellists, by the way, and we'll wait for when DJ comes on, because I think we'll get a nice around the houses, so stick by for that. Tips then in this, guys. I mean, let's just have a quick word on Holloway Boy. Jay, you mentioned that he was the hot pot. He just strikes me as, I mean, has he actually won since the Chesham? That's a no, isn't it?
No, he's not now.
No, but he is the sort of one you can see definitely being involved in the finish, which is why I sort of makes him popular with punters. Yeah, I think you're definitely going to get a run for your money, and he's easily the worst result so far.
Jay, did you think he ducks it though, Holloway Boy, or do you just think he's one of those horses that
he loves him because he ducks it? He's thinking,
but do you know what I mean? Is he just one of those horses that he's kind of a bit of a twilight horse where he drops back into handicaps and he's always heavily weighted, and then he's a little bit short.
This isn't like Tam Farner, is it, who's been running at the top level with the threes. He has actually tried top handicap. In fairness to him, he's reinvented himself really well, and he was a bit unlucky in the Hunt Cup and all that sort of stuff. But
what I'm saying is it that he doesn't want to go and win, or is it just that, like I say, he falls into that slot?
They have tried headgear, haven't they? William Buick's on, of course, from stall 7. They'll take their time. And
it's just very hard to win these big field handicaps, isn't it?
Well, here he is in
he's got nothing in hand off his mark, really. But that's not to say he can't win a Group 3.
There's your disclaimer. That's why you've survived so long in the game.
What
was the original favourite, Jay, just before we move on?
It was Cicero's Gift, but he's been a little bit weak with the drying ground.
There you go. All right. What do you like? Get your shouts out. Clove Hitch sticking with?
Clove Hitch for me, Dave.
Regal Reality. Yeah. We move on. All right. I wouldn't have a bet in the race if I'm honest. I quite like. I'm drawn to Witch Hunter every time he runs. I don't know why he's going around a bend again. We move on, and of course it's the opening race at Ascot. It's the 365 handicap, isn't it? Wizard of Eye I'm looking at. Is favourite now, 4-1. I thought that was under pressure yesterday, Jay, as typically the sort of like Mudlarks Mounted. Mission to Moon is a horse I'm particularly keen on when it's hock deep, which it will be at Ascot.
Yeah, this is one race at Ascot that hasn't been hit by non-runners yet, so hopefully that continues. We're going to pay 4 places as long as 12 or more turn up. Mission for Mars was one that was really well backed on Thursday when the rain came. Run Boy Run is another one who's been well backed. He was 14-1 this time yesterday. His form was boosted yesterday, so see why there's money for him. And Rebel Territory is another one who's been well supported, presumably because of the rain coming as well.
That's exactly it, Jay. And just a quick one on Ascot. If you didn't see it yesterday, the card, they watered on Monday, not sure what the forecast was going to bring. Serious deluge if you're in the south near there, as of course we had on Thursday night. Nearly heavy on the round course. It is slightly improving according to the going stick on the round course, but expect soft ground horses to come to the fore. This is the sort of puzzle that you'll, Robbie.
Yeah, I love this sort of puzzle, mate. Yeah, I like Rebel Territory. I am slightly concerned because it's his second run back off a long break, but he was so impressive here last May. In what's that race called? The Victoria Cup. It was the Victoria Cup, wasn't it? Yeah. Because I remember before that race, everyone was saying you wanted to be drawn high in that, and he was in 2 away from all of the sort of other fancied horses, and his rider sort of brought him up to the middle, and he won by absolute miles. He's not up too much higher for that £7. That he can definitely surmount that if he's ready. I put my selection for this yesterday. then I read Amanda Perrett's comments, and she'd make you slightly lukewarm that they're waiting for another target. But
I think she's that sort of trainer.
Maybe she's just cautious and conservative. But
I don't think she'd ever say this is, get on.
Yeah,
lads,
exactly. Well, he is going to like the ground, that is for sure, and this is going to have like less depth to the Victoria Cup a couple of years ago. But I try not to pay too much attention to trainer comments because they can sort of put you off horses that end up winning.
When he made his comeback Rebel territory at Goodwood a couple of weeks ago, when it was hock deep underneath, we were worried about it even being on. He was put up by Tom and G-Rod on this show because they've been waiting for him to turn up, been so patient. He's been entered, Royal Ascot scratched that because he does need the ground. And like you say, watch back that Victoria Cup in your members club from last year. You'll find it hard not to be drawn to him. Wizard of Eye, anyone putting their hand up for this chap?
Nope.
He did, considering they went from the Victoria Cup to Group 1 action. Again, watch that back. He doesn't run badly at all in
Not
that,
at all.
Behind Cardem. It was a race where you sort of had to be, sort of.
You just wonder whether he's more
right
of a speed horse. I mean, he certainly looked that, didn't he, on his previous run? But it's going to be much slower ground. He has got a piece of form on slower ground for Stanmore back in the day, but he's also struggled on it before.
Yes.
There's not enough evidence to say he's going to go on it or not, but I mean, the reality is he's still interestingly handicapped off 102 because, as you say, he didn't run too bad in that Group 1 at all, did he?
It could be a very big hour for James Doyle, of course, because he's got French Duke coming up in the now called Chapel Down handicap, which is a very valuable handicap. He's got a right chance in that. Posty, what caught your eye in the opener?
Spangled Mac for me. He's got some form at Ascot before. Granted that he disappointed in this race last year when they made him favourite. Said they got a lack of cover on that occasion. Campaigned in his first couple of starts over sprint trips this season, and then back up to the 7 furlongs for the race he won at Newbury last year. We finished 4th, ran fine. Chester just wasn't for him. Hold up horse. The race was dominated by those in and around the speed. I think he's drawn fine today to get some cover with Billy Lochnanon, who's won on him before. He's back down to his last winning mark. I think the ground will be fine for him. I actually think he's interesting on the ground, and I think the setup with a smaller field, but him drawn where he's definitely going to get cover makes him very interesting.
Okay, all right. So is this like a? Usually we see these 7 furlong handicaps. This is worth just over 40 grand to the winner. We've just got 13 run. A massive chance, isn't it, for someone to get a really good pot on a Saturday. On top for Robbie Wilder still.
Rebel territory for me.
Yeah, Spangled Mac.
Spangled Mac, and I'm going to go Mission to Moon. Jay, if you were having a stab, who would it be?
It's boring, but I'd stick with the Wizard of Oz. Slight worry about the ground, but he has got some form on soft. I really liked his last run in Group 1 company.
Good film, isn't
it? Jay's just shown his cinematic leanings there, hasn't he? He's like thinking about the Tin Man and Dorothy.
There's a relative to the Tin Man, of
course, hence the name, of course. So Jay's not so... You can't get anything on these traders.
The seamless links, they keep going on,
I once played the Lion in the Wizard of the Oz,
Did you?
I did.
Lacked a bit of courage.
It was Wickham Swan Theatre.
You used to be an actor, did you?
Well, I did a bit of the training
Lacked a bit of courage.
I know you used to be a musician.
I did lack a lot of courage. Yeah,
I knew you were a musician. I didn't know you were an actor.
I did a bit of that as well. You
can tell it's gone well. You
can tell it's gone well. Here I am with the 2 postmen on a Saturday morning.
Get the spoons out.
Shall we move on? Get the spoons out. I can play the spoons. All right, up to Haydock we go. Stamina at a premium where the ground isn't so bad underfoot. If you're just joining us, welcome along to the Morning Post. Every Saturday morning, myself, Dave Orton, joined by the greatest minds in the game, giving you their ideas of what's going to win, pointing you in the profit. And it's up to Haydock for a double header we go. Mile 6. Master builder David Menuzier. Ran in the Melrose, Jamie McBride. Is he going to back it up successfully here according to the punters?
According to the punters, yes, definitely. This is one horse book at the moment, and he's one of the worst results of the day at the moment, Master Builder. It was 5-1 when we put prices back out on Thursday after final decks. Really solid into 11-4. The other one is Too Bossy for Us. Been a little bit of money for.
Too Bossy for Us, of course, was in that Melrose race as well, wasn't it? So this is a good chance for those horses that ran at York, of course, to sort of back up Master Builder 11-4. I'm a big fan of Hutchins. They're swapping the headgear with him today. I think he could still probably be on the up. You've got horses like Walter Hartright, who are on a bit of a run as well, of course, and Contacto, who's probably still got some more to come as well. Charlie Post.
Yeah, I'm with the favourite, Master Builder. I mean, I suppose... I was really strong on him. If the ground continues to dry up, I don't think that's a positive. I mean, he beat Subsequent at Salisbury on soft ground. Subsequent has now gone on and won a handicap off 91 since that. Then he ran just okay around Kempton on the all-weather. That definitely wouldn't have been for him. But, you know, the Melrose run was really good. I mean, the long straight, he once he got rolling, he stayed on very well. I think this track will suit him even better. And there's no doubt that this won't be the ceiling of his mark. You know,
well, that's the interesting thing, I think, isn't it? Do you think he could be? I mean, David, of course, like Case Corristar has shown that she's moved up to the Gold Cup division. It doesn't take a lot for a progressive staying handicapper to get up to those group races. A bit like the sprint division, isn't it? You know, if you're on a roll, there's a bit of room to get up there. I think whether you're going to win or not is a different matter.
He's definitely got potential to do that, and like, you know, I think when you're looking at this horse, could he, you know, as a 3-year-old now, Rob, could he make up into a group horse?
He could do, yeah.
There's the potential there, isn't there?
There is, Charlie.
Like you say, with the connections, they definitely have got that. It's their sort of profile. Certainly
is, yeah. I mean, David Menezes, I got a lot of time for him, this sort of slow burning middle distance horse, and that was one hell of a handicap debut in the Melrose. That race always works out well, doesn't it? Middle Earth won it last year. It's got a history of producing horses that go on to do things at group level. He was a crazy price. I'm on him, Ante Poste. He was a crazy price early in the week. He should have been favourite on that Melrose run.
What did you get him early in the week?
11-1.
Okay.
That was one firm, but not William Hill. William Hill were a bit more alert, but I thought that was a crazy price. I mean, he's only up £3 for that, but you're just going to expect that Melrose form to keep working out. And I don't hold the same ground fears as you quite as much if it is quick, because it was rapid at York, wasn't it? And he ran really well on it. And I'm a big fan of Master Builder, Dave.
No, but I think like all I meant was, I think on soft ground, I think even at his price, he is. I think he's going to take all the beating. And like you say, he did run very well at York on quicker ground. So I don't think it's a negative, but I'm just saying it made him even more of a positive in this scenario if the ground stayed soft.
Yeah, I totally see what you mean.
Is there anything else in here that you think is worth a look?
Well, yeah, this is normally a race that works out pretty well, but I just thought it was all about the favourite. Hutchins is a horse who's on a roll as well, certainly. He could have a little bit more.
Is the first time?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what race record is like with that piece of equipment, but it's interesting. They're trying something different. He's got a really nice pedigree, son of Frankel. Anything else caught your eye, Charlie?
Well, I was going to throw over to Jay. What about yourself, Jay? A Master Builder obviously is not a great result for William Hill, but what are your thoughts on this?
No, we'd have a healthy respect for him, even though he's going to be terrible. So I'd be quite happy enough to lay Hutchins. They're swapping the visor from the blinkers. He just raced really lazily last time, and I don't really like horses with that profile. Horses coming from way back isn't necessarily what you want at Haydock, I don't think.
Well, that's over at mile 6. Let's go to one of the jewels in the crown then at Haydock is the Old Borough Cup over at mile 5. And Epic Poet, of course, we were expected to be nearly favourite here. Good luck with that plunge on Master Builder, guys. Let's move on then, because it's the Old Borough Cup coming up. And so we've got to go from the 3-year-olds to the older stayers now. A race that's got a very good tradition, guys, isn't it? We see some old characters winning it. Before we get your ideas of the winner, and a couple of I'm seeing that have been very well back there and very well tipped as well. We've got the goat down there as well, from one goat to another. Jamie McBride?
Yeah, the goat's been a little bit weak. Another one who probably wants softer ground. Epic Poet is one we were happy to lay. I've gone a little bit windy about this, just with the drying ground. I did think his stamina would be possibly an issue on sort of the dead but to soft ground. It looked like being on Thursday, but we're happy enough to be against him. But punters do like that Ebor form. He's been solid, and one for the gut has also been solid, who finished just ahead of him at York. A couple we're keeping a little bit on side is Waxing Gibbous and Grand Alliance at opposite ends of the handicap.
Yeah, Waxing Gibbous, of course, price-wise selection, been very well backed in, ahead of the mark again. David Menezes again, I think, isn't it? Posty, this is a race where finding the winner of it is extremely satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. I mean,
you're going to say I'm very difficult.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, I agree with Jay about Epic Poet, as in he's a. You know, since he came over to the Amara team, he's been really, really good. I mean, performed admirably well in all these big handicaps without winning one, and he definitely deserves it.
But I've jumped off it now.
Same, exactly. I completely agree, because I just feel like you only get so many chances to be like well handicapped in these sort of races.
So you know what's going to happen today, don't you?
Of course, yeah.
He's going to hose up.
Yeah, so that would be my advice. But for me, and he's actually shortened up a good bit more than he was sort of yesterday for sure. Dancing in Paris for Ian Williams, who again I think is really good with this type of horse.
Always gets the best out of these type of horses. We saw it at Ascot, of course, where he beat a good horse of Andrew Bawley's Tactician. And then he went to the Racing League, did it there.
Yeah, dropped back in trip.
Actually won well.
Yeah, he did. If you watch that back, I mean, for all that he didn't win a long way, I thought he was cosy, once he got there. Stepping back up another 2 furlongs is not an issue. He's only a 4-year-old. I think he's at the right end of the handicap in a big race like this. And like I say, I've got massive respect for the trainer. All
right, OK. Robbie Wilders, again, another puzzle you must salivate.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Epic Poet will really annoy me if he wins.
So we're all the same.
Because I was on him at 50-1 for the Duke of Edinburgh, he finished second, and I was on him 14-1 for 4 places in the John Smith Cup, and there's no way he should have finished.
It really has been that year, hasn't it?
It's just horrible. I'm off him today because, like you say, how many more chances are you going to get? And I think the E-Ball is probably his big target, whereas this is probably if he'd have won the E-Ball, would he be running here? Probably not. So they're just trying to claw back some riches he probably should have won earlier on. Waxing Gibbous is. Price-wise, has crashed her price. She was second on my list. I think another Menisier horse with a sort of lightly raced profile, middle distance pedigree. It's unlikely we've seen the best of her. It's coming off a break. I thought at a massive price, not on the graphic we saw, but Khaleesa was interesting. Debuting for John McConnell on a seasonal return.
Very well entered, this horse.
Yeah, she's a half sister to Calandigan. And she's changed hands for 100 grand for this new team. John McConnell's record with horses in Britain isn't great, which is obviously off-putting.
But right?
That's interesting, isn't it?
That surprises me, yeah.
Have you actually crunched the numbers on that?
Yeah, well, it's not... The percentage strike rate is poor.
I'll tell you why me and Poste are reacting like this. Maybe you're the same out there, guys, as well. I don't know what J-Mac was thinking. And DJ's not far from coming on. Maybe he'll have a word on this as well. John McConnell is sort of known to be a sort of like raiding trainer, isn't he?
Well, I kind of feel like early Cheltenham meetings, he just comes and farms
Musselburgh.
He has an awful lot of runners. He'll have the odd winner, but the actual level stakes profit is not good.
He did have a very barren spell, a very well-reported barren spell. Yeah. But he's back anyway, and Shane Foley comes over for the ride. She's very interesting because of her past and also what she's entered in. She could be a fly,
track her. Like she might need it, but they're coming over. That's normally a positive sign. But track her. I'm not sure if I want to be parting. It's the sort of horse that if you saw money for her in the market, you'd be a lot more confident.
Okay, all right. Let's get the pace up on this then. If the rain had come, I would have been with the GOAT, who I saw winning at Glorious Goodwood last year, but it was anything but glorious, and he loved it. It hasn't, so I won't go with that. I think the one for the gutter, talking to the E-Ball, might be the horse. And Ryan Moore, Ian Williams, I think I was a bit surprised he's not favourite, to be honest, on the back of that. OK, shall we now open up the floor and go across the Irish Sea? Because it's a good time to bring in DJ, I believe. David Jennings joins us on the line, Deputy Irish Editor. Is he aware that he's coming on the line, or is he just putting his game face on? He's got a very serious look about him there. DJ, are you with us? Earth to DJ. Man. David Jennings, good afternoon to you. That is absolutely brilliant.
It's a million miles away. His barnet's looking lovely, though.
We are with you, DJ. Are you aware? He can't hear us. He's got a feeling that he might be coming on air, I think.
I'm ready.
He's ready.
Hey.
Now, I've been working.
I'm ready to go.
I've been working on this all morning.
I'm talking.
The artist formerly known as DJ will now be known as Magic Jennings. Can we just all give a little round of applause? He's got 3 winning naps in a row. Wow. Magical Zoe did the business in the E-Ball when he was last on. You will be going to Anfield, David Jennings. Where is he now?
What does that mean?
Now where's he gone? He can't hear us. Unbelievable. I've been working on that all morning. Yeah. Did you like it?
Well, what do you mean by he's going to Anfield? Is that a phrase?
Well, no. So DJ, if you've been watching a lot of these shows that DJ does, he tells you he's got his WhatsApp group where they all try and get enough money on a bet or two to make their way over to go and pilgrimage at Anfield.
He's a Liverpool fan.
Oh, DJ Liverpool. Actually, I have no idea.
Big Liverpool fan. And he's been put up Magical Zoe for weeks. and lots of people banging on about it. And of course, it came good in some style. That was a gamble landed.
Sure, yeah.
So as soon as I'm aware that DJ is technically right and ready to go, the reason why we were trying to bring him on here, guys, is you probably read that he's very keen on Knightswood today in this race. Talk about projects we need. And again, if
Keels has tipped this horse about 18 times.
Keels is like, he must have whatever hair he had left is coming out about this horse.
I mean, like this. I mean, he can just find trouble everywhere, can't he? I mean, it's like.
More trouble than, yeah, absolutely. I could go anywhere with that, I bet.
Well, let's go there.
This is live. Yeah, absolutely. Trouble in a nunnery, I shall say. He's been well backed, I'm assuming, Jay, has he, Knightswood?
Yeah, like you say, he is a very popular horse, and you can't keep making an excuse for him. Maybe the trip stretched him last time, and he was unlucky the time before at Goodwood. So, yeah, he is solid enough. In a race, you can make plenty of cases for him. We are paying the extra place as well, 4 places.
That's what we wanted to hear, and I think we might need them. So, OK, we've given you our tips. Now, DJ, are you there? That was some build-up, man.
What's going on? We want to hear from DJ.
All we want to hear is from
ask him
DJ.
why he's a Liverpool fan.
I mean, there are gremlins that can happen when you go, you know, a transatlantic as we're doing on this show right now. Look, DJ would be given a strong case tonight. As soon as the producers who will be potentially tearing their hair out, and they haven't got a lot either, we'll get him back on the line. Let's keep rolling though, shall we?
Move on from Knightswood.
Let's move on from Knightswood, and let's move on from this race, because we are coming up to the September Stakes, and Kalpana now favourite over Hamish. Stop the press. Absolutely. Lion's Pride will love getting back onto this surface. You've got some course specialists there. Absolutely right to see in this race, like Seman as well. Big Seman fan. Whether he's good enough to defy 12-1 in this, I'm not sure. Jay, give us the market. This is obviously a big gamble now on the 3-year-old.
Very well backed, Kalpana. When bookmakers looked at the race, and Hamish was favourite, an 8-year-old who ran a very stinker last time. He looked an obvious one to try and lay, but I'm just not sure how much opposition we've got. Kalpana's been really well found, and she's now got to a price I'd be happy to lay her at as well. So I think laying them combined at sort of 1-2, 4-9 would be the way to go for me, and we'd have the likes of Lion's Pride and Kempton running for us.
Really good card at Kempton. I love this. Obviously, of course, the September Stakes, as I said earlier in the show, given a really good mention by Chris Cook in his front runner email. If you're signed up to the members club and the email shot, would you get that in your inbox each morning? It's a decent read, isn't it?
Yeah, I like the Guess Who that they do during the week.
That's for you? I wonder who does that. That's you.
I love going.
You love the Guess Who's.
Yeah, the clues, yeah.
All right, okay, fair enough. Chris will be delighted to hear that. We shall let him know. He basically said Derby winners could get turned over in this. He went right the way back, some massive names. Of course, Enable beating Crystal Ocean in this race. You get them here, don't you? On the stepping stone to the Arc, potentially. Don't think we got anything like that here, but we have got some proper Group 1 horses, especially in Hamish, who I'm surprised isn't favourite.
To think that he's at the bigger than 2-1, I think is ridiculous. I didn't see that coming in any way, shape or form. So, yeah, I mean, I'm with him. As in, yes, the run last time at Newmarket was disappointing, but it was sort of a funny race, wasn't it? Where there's a few of them raced on the wrong side, and they almost finished third last, second last, and last. Hamish was one of those. You know, the run before, when he was second in the Coronation Cup, was very good. He's won this race before. Yes, I can hear. I think William Haggis has made comments that, you know, he's an 8-year-old, he's a mudlark, he's now back running on an artificial surface. But he's shown before that he can handle this, and at the prices, I'll be very much with him.
I guess he comes back, Robbie, doesn't he, off a disappointing effort on the July course?
That's his first disappointing effort in, well, I couldn't remember the last time. He's normally so consistent. But he is a soft ground horse. I know he won this a few years ago, didn't he? But that's it's ancient form, isn't it?
I remember doing the live show that Saturday when we used to do that, and he cruised into that. It was a great moment. 3 years ago, yeah. I'm with Poste. I'm happy to have him here. Lion's Pride has also got some respect for back on this surface. I think he's just been keeping himself fit, basically.
Lion's Pride's been a frustrating horse this season, hasn't he? He's just not really done it on turf, but you go back through his all-weather form, and it's really smart, isn't it? He's done it RPR of 119 when he beat Measured Time, who's come out and won a Group 1 out in Maidan, isn't he?
He's the selection?
He is the selection, yeah. I think at those odds, just going to chance this, obviously, son of Roaring Lion. He's going to prefer getting back on the artificial surface. Obviously, respect Kalpana. She's probably got a little bit short. I know she won a maiden on the all-weather, but she's still probably got a little bit more to prove on the surface than the other two. And I just thought maybe like she'd be working back to the fillies and mares after a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Whereas Lion's Pride, this is just his sort of race that he's going to be primed to run well in, even though I admit that he wasn't that good at Goodwood last time. So I think out of those odds, he's a pretty fair wager.
She's on the wing as well, Campbell. But this is a right gamble. Saturday's been lit up at Kempton in the September Stakes, and none of us are with her, though. Kalpana, are you? We move on then. What have we got coming up next, which is our next race? It's going to be, of course, yes, 6 furlong sprint, or is it 5 furlong sprint at Haydock? It's Chagrin, so it must be 5, mustn't it? And again, I saw him bigger yesterday, Jay. This is a horse, every time Mick Appleby takes him to the track, they expect him to nearly do the business. He's not letting them down hardly at all. And again, last time out, he suggested there's still more room for manoeuvre in the handicap mark, now 100 to 30.
Yeah, he has been really well backed. He has been noticeably strong in the bet in both the last 2 starts at Goodwood and York, and it looks as though it's going to be the same story again. It's been well backed, and also the other one is American Fair. So those at the head of the market look solid to the punters, and the rest are weak in comparison. Although we do like Jumbo, which is those, I do notice there's a lot of love from the Racing Post team for him as well.
All right, OK, very well tipped up. You love your sprint handicaps, Jay, if you were putting one up.
I haven't had a bet in the race, but I have been a fan of American Affair all season. I think it'll go close again, but the price just isn't quite juicy enough to get me excited.
Here we are then, over the minimum, of course. We're preluding to the big one coming up. We'll try and get David Jennings as soon as we can back on the line, guys. As soon as I'm told I will throw there, of course. Here we are, Chagrin then. I backed him on his debut for Mick Appleby at Sandown, when I think we could say he was an unlucky loser there when he got shut him down on the inside. I've been with him pretty much every time since. It was a good run at York last time. He got a bit too far back, and I could see it. Whether I want to go in 100 to 30.
There was a big word from at Royal Ascot as well, wasn't
There was.
it?
There was. Yeah, Martin Dixon was very keen on him, wasn't he? I remember he was close to Mick. I remember you with him that day, and that was going about. Where are we going? Chagrin at 130, not for me.
No, I mean, I'm going to let Robbie make the case with the same horse, Jumbo, but I think he's napped it potentially.
Oh,
So
cheers.
Jay knew what he was doing there, did he?
Cheers, Poste. Yeah, I'll take the floor and I'll pass on to you after. Jumbo, ran really well at York from stall 14. At a meeting where the sprints, there was a big draw bias to the low numbers. Star of Lady M won that really impressively, broke the track record. But she's just been in really good form this season, Jumbo. Even at Goodwood, the time before, at over 6 furlongs, she just didn't get the best trip at all. But her form over 5 has been really good. Her last 3 starts, she's had RPRs before York, 94, 94, 93. She's rated 86. If she runs up to that sort of mark, she's going to be very competitive here. And Holly Doyle, I thought was quite an interesting booking. It's only a 4th ride for Tom Clover ever. Just plenty in her favour, really.
Jumbo.
Yeah, been really good since the cheap pieces went on. You know, they've been a good addition, and like Rob says, I think the booking of Holly Doyle is very interesting.
All right, OK. That, of course, is the 5 furlong burn-up. As you can tell, I'm a fan of Chagrin, but not at that price. American Affair, good to see Jim Goldie on a Saturday with also, hopefully, end up at Air, I guess they're making. But Jumbo is the unanimous tip from the panellists as we go to Kempton for the London Mile final. Again, absolutely love this race. And there is a horse that stands out for William Haggis and Tom Marcon. It's called Kilt. Wherever I could go pun-wise with that, I probably won't. But let's go to Jamie McBride. Ever want a kilt, Jay?
No, definitely not. No plans to do anytime soon either.
Never know. Sometimes your mates get married, don't they?
Keith Melrose has, man.
Keith Melrose.
I think he got married in one.
He sleeps in one, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I imagine.
Proud Scotsman.
Well, absolutely.
With his purple jumper as well.
Quite windy out there at the moment, guys. I'm going to put on a kilt on any time soon. But this, Jay, is a horse that definitely had excuses last time out with beaten. It's got the sort of sexy profile, if you like. It's from the right firm. 5-2 against the field.
Yeah, like you say, he has got the right profile, and he's going to be another of the key horses today, really. It's going to be pretty hard to keep punters off him. He was 4-1 on Thursday. That's turned into 5-2 currently. And like I say, it's another one of those, bit like Master Bill, it's a bit of a one-horse book at the moment.
One-horse book? One-horse race?
Look, I think he's very obvious, but no. I mean, just the prices. Ebbets Guard for me, as in, disappointing run on his latest start, but very unlucky at Glorious Goodwood. I think he'd have definitely won with a smoother passage through. It's been a model of consistency. I mean, look, as in, I don't know, his strike rate isn't overly great, but I just wanted something I could play, win and place, and I thought he was the sort of horse that you're probably getting a slightly bigger price because the last run was disappointing at York. I think take that out of the equation, he'd be 2 or 3 points shorter than he is here.
All right, so again, could be a very big hour for PJ McDonald, of course, who's on the Gamble on Kalpana, the race before this in the September Stakes. All right, OK. I thought Voltar had a bit of a chance for Clive Cox here, coming back from stall 6, Kieran Schumacher. Let's have a quick word for Kieran Schumacher. Talk about monkeys off backs. He's had a fantastic August, hasn't he? Good to see him winning, of course, the Solario last weekend. Can we just get on with this now?
Yeah, but that was just whipped up by the press, you know, as in, like in all honesty.
Suggesting Wilders has had a lot to do with
Potentially,
this.
I think Robbie's been in on that.
Oh, no, I never slagged.
It was a bit of a witch hunt. Like, without being rude, Kieran Schumacher's a very good trainer, but John and Thady Gosling didn't have the quality. You'd almost argue it was a masterstroke by Frankie to kind of vacate the seat. Probably knowing what was coming
a bit like when
through.
Fergie left Man United.
Well, unfortunately, everyone has gone for the David Moyes comparison.
You know, exactly.
And also,
then Kieran comes in, and you know, if the horse aren't there, it doesn't matter how.
That's
good
it, yeah. And a lot of the Gosden better horses will have retained riders from the sort of powerful owners as well. So he's probably not got as much ammunition as you might think. So yeah,
I think Vulcan's definitely there or thereabouts. It's hard not to be drawn, Rob, isn't it, towards Kilt? You've never won Kilt, obviously.
Certainly not, mate. I don't really like to get my legs up too often. I agree. Pretty hairy. But yeah, I like Kilt.
This is why it's a hot potato of a name.
I have nice legs, to be fair, but anyway, that's besides the point. Not for you to say, is it?
Absolutely brilliant. Only Wilders.
You've got to pay attention to when a horse is really strong in a market. I'm pretty sure this horse was like 5 to 1 for that.
Are you going to tip this?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
I think pit punters out there will love to hear this, Rob.
I just couldn't find anything I found that interesting against him, and I'm expecting that form to work out pretty well. He's got the pedigree. He's down one at the Breeders' Cup on firm ground. The quick
headline: Robbie Wilders drummed up the Kieran Schumacher fair. Robbie Wilders fearful of wearing a kilt and can tip favourites.
He can every now and then. I'm sure Kilt was slightly bigger when I tipped him up, but the market's it's a bit arrogant, isn't it, from me? The market support has been there again.
Was up there with the legs.
He was well clear with another interesting 3-year-old Old Cock last time at Haydock, and
I mean, come on. Yeah, you had to go there, didn't you?
Well,
they did this on the show apparently when Maddie was on.
Yeah, they did. It's just low-hanging fruit, isn't it?
I remember Bryce thinking, oh, God, here we go.
Take the low-hanging fruit.
Bring Maddie Plowback.
But Kilt, please.
All right, Kilt all the way in the London Mile Final. It's very competitive. 4 places instead of 3. Now, I think Skype is playing all sorts of problems, we think, with DJ, guys. We're trying to get him on the line for you. Can tell you he really likes Knightswood. That is in the Borough Cup, and we're hoping to get some Irish angle, of course, because there's some interesting racing across the channel for us as well there this afternoon. But here we are. This is boost time as well, guys. We know the naps are coming up. They will be boosted for you as well. But the headline act, they are taking on Inisherin in the Sprint Cup. Come on, can we have back-to-back winning boosts? Tam final last week, I reckon it's on. There it is, 5 to 1 you're now getting. Of course, it's a 4 to 1 the field race. If anyone's going to do it, getting him back after he didn't handle the track, Jay, it will be, of course, that was at Newmarket, Kevin Ryan. Is this like a really strong 4 to 1 shot? Where's he going to end up?
No, I think he is very strong. I can't really see him drifting. He's been strong all week. He's a terrible anti-post result. He's really solid at 4 to 1. Really solid at 7 2 early in the week. I can't see him drifting, but we're happy to take him on. Like I say, it is a really good betting heat. Sprinters, there isn't a star amongst them, but that is making for really good betting heats in this kind of race. We're happy to take on all of the 3-year-olds in general. The weight for age is down to £2 now, so they're pretty much off levels. Elite Status is another bad result, and the price-wise tip Bucanera Fuert is the other bad result. So 3 bad results at the moment, but Inisherin is the boost, 5 to 1 from 4 to 1.
I've had some dreadful pronunciations, by the way, of Bucanera Fuerte this week.
Was that one of them?
No, it wasn't at all. That's why I brought it up. You know, it would have been awkward. You know, Jay pays the bill.
Hard to say.
I've got to...
What's the worst one?
Oh, honestly, Sam Boswell yesterday, honestly, when I was on Sky, he absolutely butchered it at bookies.
It's not hard to say, is it?
It was awkward.
Fuerte.
It was borderline, get off air, awkward. Anyway, I was having to look up on the Globe where he was meaning. Very good horse, Bucanera Fuerte. And I wanted to take umbrage with something Jay said there, but annoyingly, I think he's right. there's not a star amongst this field, was the headline from Jay's piece there. He's probably right, isn't he?
I think elite status could be.
A star?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Track record holder at Newbury when you... Here we go again. You napped him up, didn't you, on the show? There's that face that I'm used to. Smug.
He's about 11 to 10, though. Let's not give him too much credit.
Was he?
Oh, no, he's bigger than that.
No, he's definitely bigger than that, wasn't he? Yeah. I think he was. Robbie's going to
let's
fact check this.
Let's verify that.
As usual. You've got a bit of bojo about you.
Let the gentleman make the case.
Yeah, look, as in, I actually think he's my favourite horse in training.
Oh, wow.
That's a very random
got some
shout.
codes?
No, flat.
I'll get it right.
Yeah.
Actually, it was 5-2. Apologies, Poste.
Yeah, it's all right, mate.
Continue.
He's bigger as well when I napped him up. I mean, look, as in, I would have been with him if he'd have ran the Commonwealth Cup when he was a late withdrawal against Sharon.
Yes, this is the matchup we've been waiting for.
Exactly, and he's done nothing to kind of dampen my thoughts about that when he beat Lake Forest at Newbury. Subsequently,
it gives you the line on the form there, of course, second to Ida Sharon in the Commonwealth Cup.
Yeah, and I think would he have been happier if the ground was easier?
I don't know about that one.
Exactly. So I think, but what I'm saying is I don't think it's a negative the ground is drying up.
Not at all.
And I think he's got bundles of class. I really liked him as a 2-year-old where he was a massive, big slab of a horse, and he was always potentially going to improve through to 3. And
when he won the National Stakes at Sandown, we thought he might actually be a star.
Yeah, I mean, and then he was all the rage for the Norfolk when he finished 3rd.
Yeah.
But and then it kind of petered out towards the end of the season, a fraction in good company. But yeah, I'm really, really keen on this.
Mad keen.
But I think this, for all that Jay is right, at the moment it lacks a star, but this is a really good sprint. This is ultra competitive.
Yeah, all right, love it. Okay, and they're drawn next to each other, of course. I'm a big Ida Sharon fan. I'd forgive him happily the July run. I don't think he handled the track. There was a worry going into it. He ran all right. He still looked like he had his chance. And of course, we know that he lowered the colours of Van Dijk on very bad ground here in the Sandy Lane earlier on. And the last 3-year-old to win this was Hello Humes, trained by Kevin Ryan, of course. Kevin's just got that knack of doing it. He's had a very good year. I expect him to definitely, whatever beats him, to win. Robbie?
Yeah, it's just, it's a sort of race where I'm looking for something at a big price because I honestly think about 10 of them could win it, even though... Why are you laughing?
Well, the producer said something already. None of us could work out what it was. So
I mean, there's 16 runners. Only 4 have won Group 1s. A couple of those who won Group 1s won them. Art Power was the 15th attempt. Moss Tucker, that was his 30th start. The older horses aren't that much cop that we know of. I think Bucanero Fuerte was the one I was first interested in because he could be something a little bit special. I mean, the way he beat Port Fortuna last year in the Phoenix Stakes, watch that back in your members club, awfully impressive. And his form line this season, giving the Beat Boys under a penalty at the Curragh, has worked out pretty well.
Yeah, okay.
But the actual one I want to put up, Dave, is Unequal Love.
Wokingham winner.
Massive price. Yeah, she is 4, and I've just slammed the Wokingham winner. Before that, William Haggis nearly didn't run her in that because he thought she didn't want fast ground, and he thought she was awfully drawn in stall 1, and she still won it anyway when that berth was considered a big disadvantage. It didn't quite go to plan for her at York last time, but she sort of got squeezed out early and then stayed on quite nicely, I thought. Just looks like she's improving. She's still pretty unexposed. First crack at a Group 1 in a race where I think there's question marks over an awful lot of them. And, I think she can go really well.
It's an absolute belter, this, isn't it? Let's get the top tips, all right? It's Ida Sharon for me, not unapologetically. You're going for the owner, mate.
Unequal Love, but I do like elite status.
A lot of love for Swing Along out there as well. Who are you with? Bucanero Fuerte, Tom as well. Right, OK. Saturday preview done. We're pretty much on the hour. We've got Sunday and anti-post look to come and those all-important naps. Drum roll, please. Hold on to your hats. is this going to work? Let's go there and see if we can go across the Irish Channel now. Magic Jennings awaits us. I gave you such a big build-up, DJ, and of course the line had to go down.
That's what goes wrong when you give me a big build-up, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, you're still on a high. No pressure this week, DJ, but we're going for 4 naps in a row. I've sort of, from yourself, I've sort of teased it a little bit. We've got that to come. Give us the lowdown now as we're going on a little bit about Navan today.
Yeah, yes, it's hard to believe. The chances of my 4th winning nap in a row winning are, I'd say, huge, because 4 in a row is just unachievable in the land of me. But Navan, it's one of these cars. There's actually no race in Ireland tomorrow, so it's actually a pretty poor weekend in Ireland. And given the technical difficulties which we had with Skype, which wasn't my fault, by the way, wasn't my fault, it sums up really the morning that I've had. I tried to make pancakes for the kids that went drastically wrong. The Skype didn't work, and my strongest fancy at Navan has just been declared a non-runner in the last few minutes. So I've got the hat-trick up, although I think the pancakes was the worst moment in that hat-trick. A couple that I do fancy on the card. In the second race, which is the Irish Stallion Farms EBF rated race over 6 furlongs, Snapdragon, who has been second the last 3 times, is odds-on favourite. But I think Snapdragon will be beaten. I fancy Grand Marquis for Fozzie Stack and Jamie Heffernan. Look, Grand Marquis is a horse that I thought potentially could be a stakes filly. When I saw her first time out at the Curragh, she ran against Heaven's Gate and she finished 3rd, having suffered like pretty bad interference in her run. I said, that's a group filly. She's ran 3 times since. Now, she's been highly tried and she was a little bit disappointing last time, but I think she's one of these fillies where she ran so well on debut, they thought she was a stakes filly. They highly tried her, and then it's very hard for fillies with such lack of experience in good races to kind of get into any sort of a rhythm. There's only 4 runners today, and one of them doesn't have a chance. Only 3 horses that can win that race. So she's going to get into a rhythm today. I think she's got a great chance. Grand Marquis, that's in the 250 at Navan against Snapdragon. The one that I was fancying strongly was Emerald Harmony in the 4 o'clock, but unfortunately she's been taken out because of ground for some reason. I don't know why. And I think it could be a big day for Fozzie Stack, because I also like Touch the Sound in the 4:35. Again, there's an Aidan O'Brien Shrine favourite, North Africa, who looks pretty exposed, I thought. Touch the Sound, who was really eye-catching last time, ran a big race, might be able to win that. And then one final one just in the last. Our old pal, Naturally Nimble, goes in the last, who's been extremely disappointing. But rated 83, he should be just better than these. I know he's dropping in trip, but Naturally Nimble in the 540. But my strongest fancy of those would be Grand Marquis in the 250.
Yeah, I think a lot of punters will be with you, expecting Snapdragon to come up short. DJ, while we've still got you, of course, it might be a low-key weekend in Ireland, but we're building up to some massive races coming, aren't they? And, of course, this week you were one of the lucky ones to get down to Ballydoyle as well. Give us 3 key takeaways from the Aidan O'Brien visit this week.
Oh, OK, here we go. 3 key takeaways. The first one I would give you, now Porta Fortuna is going to be very hard to beat in the Matron Stakes, and she's favourite. But Ylang Ylang, who was, would we call it eye-catching, disappointing, or I don't know how you describe the run of Ylang Ylang and her return to action at Leopardstown last time. But I got the impression from Aidan O'Brien, she's likely to be his only runner in the race, and they're going to ride her completely differently, which is not surprising considering she was held up last and never got into the race last time. But I'd say you'll definitely see a different Ylang Ylang. Now she'll need to be, because she's running against Porta Fortuna and Fallen Angel, but different ride, different tactics, different race, only runner from Ballydoyle in the race. Like at the time I wrote on Monday she was 20-1. I was like, that's a big price if she's going to be the only Ballydoyler on the race. So that's one. We asked him, I think it was actually Amy Lynham who asked him for a 2-year-old to follow for the season that we haven't seen yet. And he provided Light as Air, who's a Wootton Bassett colt, I think. Is it colt or Wootton Bassett colt out of Fluff, who people will remember. So that's Light as Air. So that's one maybe to put in your tracker. And the other piece, I suppose, of vital information was Auguste Rodin, who I don't think was definitely part of the plan for the Irish Champion Stakes, but obviously did a spectacular piece of work last week, because he spoke about that piece of work on a couple of occasions, and now he's back in the mix. And it was like no doubt whatsoever that Ryan Moore is going to ride Auguste Rodin over Los Angeles, which at the time they were pretty close together in the market. and you're kind of going, oh, this is going to be a hard choice, like, to get Ryan on the right one. And it was like, God, this is, in their heads, they're kind of thinking Los Angeles for the Arc, hopefully finishes in the first 3 or 4, whereas Augusta Rodin, this is his race this season. So it's going to be interesting.
All right, brilliant. DJ, I'm going to throw more at you curveballs here, just because we're going to let you go, DJ, because we've got you on Skype. We don't want it to go crazy once we go off. Nap, you had me laughing when you were saying no wages a 4-timer work. Now, if I was David Jennings coming into this show, I'd be looking for a 6-4 shot. I'd be looking for something of Aidan O'Brien's, even money. You've gone for Knightswood.
Yeah, I just went through this race earlier on this week, and the Old Borough Cup is a race that I've always loved, and went through it on Tuesday, and I was like, oh my God, it's like a handicap at, Hamilton on a Tuesday night or something. It just doesn't seem to have the same kind of, unexposed. I know there's a 3-year-old handicap for the unexposed horses beforehand, but for the money that it's worth and for the prestige that it has on a Group 1 card, I went through the race and I was kind of going, there's so many of these you can fancy. Look, this is the way I view Knightswood. He is a horse who, I think when a horse is unlucky more than once, it's obviously he's got his own problems. But when you look through them form figures and you see, 3, 2, 4, 4, 5, 7, if ever form figures did not do justice to a horse's performances, this is it with Knightswood. I thought he would have won at Goodwood when he finished 5th at Glorious Goodwood if he got any sort of a gap. There was twice before that where I thought he probably would have won again if the gaps opened. So he's making his own bad luck. I get that. But the way I look at Knightsbrook today is he didn't stay at York. He needs mile 6. He doesn't stay 2 miles. He's ran really well at Haydock already this season. He's drawn in stall 1, so I expect Joe Fanning to pop out and sit 3rd, 4th or 5th on the inside. So he'll only have to potentially try and get one gap and then go maybe at the 2 or 3 pole. And the way I'm summing it up is, if a horse like Knightswood does actually get the gaps, I think he'll win. Now, you're a hostage to fortune, but I prefer to back a horse that might win if the gaps open than fancy a horse that you're afraid of a horse in behind getting the gap. So I think Knightswood has got a cracking chance. We had a few quid on him at 10-1 earlier on this week for our now famous or infamous Liverpool group. So it's our 3rd one of the year after Corbett's Cross at Cheltenham and Magical Zoe and the Ebor. So we've gone in on Knightswood. I'd be bitterly disappointed if he doesn't finish in the first 4 anyway. We've back to beach rate.
Oh, I love it, DJ. Listen, thanks for joining us. You're giving us a lowdown there. We had a few gremlins, but you got your moment. You reminded me then of kind of like a guy taking a penalty in the 90th minute to win the Champions League final. You've had 3 winning naps got in, and you've decided to take a Panenka.
Sure, look, I don't know what to say. Like, I think managing director will win the first race at Thirsk, who's a much shorter price. I think he's chucked in off 72, but I do really like Knightswood in that 225.
England, Ireland tonight, DJ. Lee Carsley singing the national anthem proudly. Are you going to be watching that?
I just think, did you see the nonsense that's been in the papers today about Lee Carsley saying he won't sing the national anthem? And I think it was Jason Burt who said that, if he doesn't sing the national anthem, he shouldn't be the manager of England. What a load of absolute... Am I allowed to curse? Can I curse? Can I curse? What, like...
Yeah, go on, Seb Saunders does it. Kills does it. Why not? You've had 3 winning naps.
It's the most, like... I just read the piece last night in bed, and I was like... I didn't think something so stupid could get me so annoyed, but I was like, imagine thinking a manager singing the national anthem is the most important thing in your managerial expertise. Like, it's just absolute nonsense.
Daily Mail tweeted this morning saying that he should be sacked.
We don't have enough time for this, but
what's all that about?
To end this segment, I was also reading that in bed last night, DJ, to tell you what sort of lives we have.
Jeez, you're excited.
While Robbie was thinking about kilts, me and you were reading Jason Burt.
That's an embarrassing opinion, isn't it?
DJ, I don't know where we go from there. Apart from to say sayonara, you're going to come back. We've got so much good racing coming up. Not just here, of course, with the St Leger Festival coming up, but next week it's huge in Ireland, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got the Irish Champions Festival, the artist formerly known as Irish Champions Weekend. So it's going to be great. Yeah, Lepersen on Saturday and the Curran Sunday, where we'll have the likes of Augusta Rodin, Economics, Port Fortuna in the Matron. We'll have Kiprios in the Irish St Leger. We'll have a national stakes that I think Henry Matisse is going to be the Ballydoyle #1 for that. And we're going to have the Star Philly bedtime story in the Migler as well. So cracking weekend.
Love it. DJ, sayonara, good weekend. Hope fortune improves.
Me too.
Great stuff. Magic Jennings, as we're now calling him. You would have, of course, taken umbrage with that. You think Lee Carsley should...
I don't have a problem if players don't sing it, but I mean, I'm saying to you, if it was me, I would belt the national anthem out. I think we should probably close the show with it.
Right.
Let's balance it as well. Lee Carsley played for Republic of Ireland in his career, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. This isn't a football show.
I didn't see
we love all sports.
Sven-Göran Eriksson singing the national anthem.
That's topical as well, isn't it? Poor old Sven the other day. That was really sad, that, wasn't it?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, what's...
Not singing the national anthem.
Okay, all right. I wonder where you're going.
Ours is not.
Okay, we've got Wilders on a rant.
Bring on the hate. I don't rate our national
in the offices at Racing Post, and people go out for their lunch when this happens. So we can't do that, me and Charlie, unfortunately, because we've got a Sunday service to bring you as well. It's the Prix de Moulin at Longchamp, and of course the clash of the milers. Finally, the mile division lights up this year. And we've got the Guineas winner, Notable Speech, came back to form in the Sussex last time out up against Charin. Flip-flopping favourites in the week. We heard on Thursday, 22 mil of rain in Paris. However, yesterday, Jamie McBride, who joins us back, reports of sunny skies. They're expecting it to dry through. We were wondering, were Notable Speech going to take his lineup? He is. It's a belter. How do you bet?
Yeah, 5-4 Charon, and Notable Speech is 5-2, which is purely down to the ground. Like I say, there would be a lot closer in the betting if it was good ground. But Notable Speech, we are laying, so maybe the drying ground is attracting punters, and he will shorten if the ground doesn't look too bad tomorrow. But like I said, it is a good race. You couldn't rule out Henry Longfellow either. Looks a cracker.
All right, so 4 for the French team. Caramelito, don't rule out him at a price. And Ramadan, who was much bigger than that yesterday. Christopher Head's, I'm going to say star 3-year-old. But it's all about the big 2, maybe the big 3. Let's just whittle through this and keep it quick and simple. You told me earlier that Charin...
Wins.
You said bolts up.
Bolts up, yeah.
Wins well.
Yeah.
Charin all the way for Posty.
Yeah, he wins in style, yeah.
Wins in style. Why not Notable Speech then?
Great style, yeah.
Why not? Just come on, I'm putting a bit of yin to the yang.
Charin is the preeminent miler now.
Charin.
What would you say?
Charin. You are on form this morning, Wilders.
Well, what do you call him?
We'll see him cycling around London in a kilt after this show.
Yeah.
It's been that sort of day for him. It's
Whistling the national anthem.
We're singing
Sorry,
the national anthem.
What's this horse called then?
It's Charin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Charin.
Actually, yeah.
Charin, I think. I think we can all go with Charin,
You
guys.
can move along, but it's Charin.
It's been great to see him really... You get this, don't you? When the mile division isn't so strong and we're kind of bemoaning it a little bit like the sprint division at the moment, maybe like the stairs as well, what's going on? But when one comes to the top, Queen Anne went to the Marois, of course, knows the gaff, Sylvester de Sousa on the plate, wins.
You couldn't have called it either, like at the start of the season. He sort of come from... he was very exposed in Group 1s last year. But
and while you could have a slight worry, this was his 6th run of the year, Notable Speech will be having his 7th, you know, so... They both have respective breaks and stuff. Some people will be going for Henry Longfellow as well. That's a jewel in the crown tomorrow at Longchamp, and a blinding card as well, which you can get on Sky Sports Racing. Lights a Fast Tracker trying to get back on track for the Arc as well. Don't miss that. Also, up at York on the Nayswar, this Sunday is a really good Sunday card. We bemoan the lack of quality, competitive cards on a Sunday for a lot throughout the year, Jay, don't we? This is obviously always this date in the calendar and a keen betting heat. Where are we going? Kinalt came back to form last time out at Newmarket. Your favourite to follow up?
Yeah, we put him in as favourite when we started betting on it yesterday. He does look a worthy 5, even despite the small penalties. Really come to himself last couple of starts. We do also have healthy respect for a couple, Purasang and Azure Blue, the next in the betting. It's a light betting heat so far, but it is good race on a good card, like you say.
It's the Starman at Tally Ho Stud Garaby Stakes listed action over the 6th furlong, won by
Azure Blue.
Are we all agreeing on this?
We might not agree on the national anthem, but we certainly agree on Azure Blue.
We're all she's on my shortlist this week as well. I'm surprised by this. I didn't think it was going to be 3 for Azure Blue.
What a way to nearly end the show.
What a way to nearly end the show. All right, OK, Azure Blue, big price at 13-2 live now with William Hill. You can get across and avail yourself of that. Next week on Thursday sees the start of the St Ledger meeting. Of course, up at Donny on the Town Moor, and the forecast, guys, have you seen it? It looks incredible. putting my Moulin hat on there. But it does, Jamie McBride, look like you are getting the best of the winter weather at the moment. What are we doing at the moment in the St. Leger? Illinois, as Robbie Wilder's famous called, what we know as Illinois. Sharon himself, 7-4, probably 7-4, would Wilder say.
Yeah, he does look a solid fav now. Wayne Lorden's been given the leg up instead of Jan Bruegel or Grosvenor Square. It's been a fairly static market since Aidan O'Brien firmed up his plans. One horse that could have been a springer, but now looks as though he won't be. Ancient Wisdom looks as though the ground may go against him. And because of his dominance, I've also knocked up a special on this race. Aidan O'Brien to train the 1-2-3 is 7-2 with us.
Oh, you absolute filthy animal, you. Great piece in the week, I believe it was, on the website and probably in the paper as well, of course, from Lewis Porteous this week. Did you see it at the Post? Lots of people have spoken to me about this. All of the middle distance, the mile 4 Group 1s, not one domestic horse has won it yet. And, of course, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Because we've got basically this, haven't we? And it got Aidan O'Brien has got it by the short and curlies. That's a big
prioritised, is it? Those pedigrees
story in itself. Well, it's the kings and queens of the game, this, isn't it? Your Derby winners and your Oaks winners. This is the division, you know. And here we are. British has not got one Group 1 over the mile 4, and apparently that hasn't happened for a donkey's years. We're staring it down the barrel now. Aidan O'Brien wins.
Yeah.
with
I think Illinois. Yeah.
Illinois. He's been to the
I
States
know
as well. He's
Illinois is
even
in
mucked up
Chicago, mate, so that doesn't wash for me.
But where were you again? You went somewhere very...
I went to Arkansas, not Arkansas as you say.
Oh, why did you
I like Grosvenor Square.
You like Grosvenor Square?
Yeah,
Why?
I do, yeah.
Was he not flattered last time at the Curragh?
Nah, his time was off the charts.
Was it?
Yeah. And he's doing it. He does it the hard way from the front as well. Like me and Rodders always say, if you go out for a run, like it's very hard to clock a good time, setting the pace.
Graham Rodway runs with you, does he?
As soon as I said that, I was like, I don't think he's run in 10 years.
Yeah.
But he was more saying because I run, he was trying to use that as an example.
I mean, you wouldn't mind being in a slipstream.
Exactly, yeah.
Get a lot of cover, wouldn't you? You'd be absolutely fine.
Would, wouldn't it?
What is going to get the cover in the race? Of course, we're not even sure if Los Angeles is going to go. Jan Bruegel, or Jan Bruegel, whatever you call him, his form was the Bruegel's form.
Look who's fluffing their pronunciation.
Very well boosted by Bellum Justin, of course, who picked up a cool 1.5 million under Frankie in the Nashville Derby at Kentucky Downs last week. There's some more great action coming up there. Aidan O'Brien and Frankie teaming up for more millions later on with Greenford, I think it is, isn't it? I think he's got a massive chance, Jan Bruegel.
They're all top colts. Those, like there's potential cup horses there next season.
I bet Dear Mile runs a good race. I
thought Dear Mile that is in, yeah.
He definitely ducked it. I think he had every chance to go by. Haley Turner from the front, I know that day at Windsor.
I'd be very surprised if he finished in the first three of those three.
No, I think he's. I think
Aidan O'Brien had the first three, won't
yeah,
it?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think off the bigger prices, Dear Mile put him in a very good race and he'll run well.
He is interesting, but
he is interesting. Yeah. All right. Okay. That is the Ledger. It's coming up this time next week, which we'll be back to preview in its entirety. But now it is the business end of the show for a lot of you. And the Morning Post naps coming up. Here they are. Let McBride basically go down. I've gone for the brilliantly named Brian in the opener, the Serenia Stakes. Hearing a lot of confidence about Ado Keatley's runner in that. I'm happy with Brian. 4-1. This is a very good horse, Brian.
Good luck to you.
If you're going to name a horse.
Yeah. You want it to be a good horse.
Simple, yeah.
Call it Brian.
Yeah, Liam Canari's got himself another star there. So the best horse that Sylvester Kirk's had for a little while. He nearly won this with 20-1 shot as well in 2015. Did Sylvester Kirk. Okay, there's Jumbo, which both Posty and Charlie like, and you're getting 7-1 about that. Elite status for Posty. Knightswood, of course, for David Jennings. Kills the He'd probably be putting that up as well. And let's go to him. Be careful what I called him there because he's pesky at this. He gets in very early, Jamie McBride. Have you noticed that on the running order emails? As soon as... Can we please have your naps, ladies and gentlemen, for the show? Lightning he is getting in. I would have gone for Brooklyn 9-9. I wasn't allowed to.
Yeah, it's the horse put in my tracker after an eye-catching run this weekend last year at York. So hopefully patience is rewarded today. It has been decimated somewhat by non-runners, but hopefully he can still get the job done.
Yeah, it was a massive eye-catcher when we last saw him at York again. Watch that back in your members club and you'll see it and you're getting a nice juicy boost. These are live now, Jay?
They are, yep, all live on the website, yep.
Great stuff. 11:19 we end the show on. It's been a pleasure, Jay. Thanks again. Will it be yourself or Johnny the Judge for St. Ledger Day? You'll probably be up on the town mall, will you, toasting it?
We're both working, but Johnny has the pleasure of doing the show and spending the morning with you, Dave.
All right. Well, Jay, it's been absolutely fabulous to have you on again, giving us the markets as they move and telling us what's hot and what's not. And the boost, of course, in a sharing. Still 5-1?
Correct, 5-1. We'll hold that for as long as possible.
There you go. All right. That is that done. The postman. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been fun, haven't we?
It's been a laugh, hasn't it? Yeah.
Really good, yeah.
All right.
Some opinions, haven't we?
Yeah.
You have got probably a leisurely afternoon coming up.
I would hope so, mate. Yeah.
What about you, Posty? What are you up to?
Well, I'm off to a Western-themed fancy dress party.
It starts early, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, Tom Jonasson and Chloe are mates of ours. Yeah, it's in the afternoon. I didn't know that.
Assistant to Nichols, of
yeah,
course.
as in I didn't know that adults had afternoon fancy dress parties.
They do today.
They do today.
They do today. Yeah. And you're going as Woody, are you? From
always wanted to be a cowboy.
Yeah, like that. Well, you nearly were. Welsh National was as close as you got.
Yeah.
All right, OK. I've been Dave Orton. You've been watching The Morning Post. This has been an absolute fun edition, hasn't it? Great to have you. Join us next week for the St Ledger. But all that's available this afternoon. Enjoy the sport.